Imagine this. A family-owned company pushes a miracle painkiller that promises relief without the nightmare of addiction. But behind the scenes, it's fueling the deadliest drug epidemic in American history, raking in billions while communities crumble. This is the story of Purdue Pharma and the opioid crisis, a tale of corporate greed that killed hundreds of thousands. Stick around, because what happened next will shock you. Hey everyone, welcome back to Business Scandals Exposed, where we dive into the wild world of corporate chaos. If you're new here, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. We've got stories that'll keep you hooked. Today, we're unpacking one of the most infamous scandals ever, Purdue Pharma, and how their blockbuster drug OxyContin sparked a nationwide catastrophe. But here's the big question. How did a single pill turn a family business into public enemy number one? Let's jump in. First off, let's set the stage. Purdue Pharma wasn't always synonymous with scandal. Founded way back in 1892 in New York City as the Purdue Frederick Company, it started small, peddling everyday remedies like laxatives and antiseptics. Fast forward to 1952, when three brothers, Arthur, Mortimer, and Raymond Sackler, bought the company for a steal. The Sacklers were immigrant doctors from Brooklyn, sharp as tacks, and they transformed Purdue into a pharmaceutical powerhouse. By the 1990s, they were laser-focused on pain management, owning drugs like MS-Contin, a morphine-based pill for cancer patients. But they wanted more, a game-changer that would dominate the market. Enter OxyContin in 1996. Purdue launched this extended-release oxycodone pill, marketing it as a safer alternative to traditional opioids. The pitch? Its time-release formula meant less abuse potential and steady pain relief for 12 hours. Doctors bought in hook, line, and sinker. Sales exploded from $48 million in the first year to over $1 billion by 2000. The Sacklers were swimming in cash, with cumulative revenues hitting $35 billion by 2017. But was this success built on science or smoke and mirrors? Hold that thought. We'll circle back. Purdue's marketing machine was ruthless. They hired consulting giants like McKinsey to target high-value doctors, those prescribing the most opioids. Sales reps flooded offices with free samples, lavish dinners, and all-expenses-paid trips to pain management seminars in sunny spots. Over 5,000 healthcare pros got wined and dined, and Purdue even paid speakers to tout OxyContin's safety. Their big lie? Addiction risk was less than 1%. No long-term studies backed that up, but who cared? Prescriptions skyrocketed from 670,000 in 1997 to 6.2 million in 2002. The company knew the 12-hour claim was bogus for many patients. They'd crash after 8 hours, leading to withdrawal and higher doses. Instead of fixing it, Purdue pushed stronger pills to boost profits. Insane, right? But what if I told you this safe drug was being crushed and snorted like street heroin? By 2000, abuse reports poured in from rural Appalachia to big cities. People figured out how to bypass the time release by grinding the pills, getting a massive hit all at once. Addiction rates soared, not 1%, but up to 25% in some studies. The DEA called out Purdue in 2003 for aggressive marketing that fueled the fire. By 2012, research showed 76% of heroin addicts started with prescription opioids like OxyContin. This wasn't just a product flop, it was a public health apocalypse. Over 500,000 Americans died from opioid overdoses between 1999 and 2020, with prescription drugs kicking off the wave that led to fentanyl and heroin horrors. Now, picture this. As bodies piled up, Purdue doubled down. Internal emails from the 1990s show execs prepping for launch while ignoring red flags. They even suggested rebates for overdoses in a twisted McKinsey brainstorm. Communities devastated, families torn apart, emergency rooms overwhelmed, economies gutted. The crisis cost the U.S. trillions in healthcare, lost productivity, and law enforcement. But the Sacklers? They siphoned off $10.7 billion from Purdue between 2008 and 2017, funding lavish lifestyles, art collections, and philanthropy to polish their image. Museums like the Met and Louvre slapped their name on wings until the backlash hit. Speaking of backlash, the lawsuits started rolling in early 2000s. West Virginia sued in 2001 for deceptive practices, settling for $10 million in 2004. But the big blow came in 2007. Purdue pleaded guilty to federal charges of misbranding OxyContin, paying a $600 million fine, the largest pharma penalty at the time. 3 execs got slapped with misdemeanors, fines, and community service, but no jail. The Sacklers? Untouched personally. Kentucky settled for $24 million in 2015, but by 2017, cities like Everett, Washington, were suing over cleanup costs from the addiction surge. Things escalated in 2018 when states like Massachusetts dropped bombshell suits naming Sackler family members directly. Accusations flew: fraud, racketeering, even manslaughter in some claims. Over 2,000 lawsuits piled up from states, cities, tribes, and families. Oklahoma trial in 2019 exposed damning documents. Purdue settled for $270 million right before verdict. But could the Sacklers really escape accountability? That's the cliffhanger that kept everyone watching. Desperate, Purdue filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy in September 2019, halting lawsuits and proposing a $10 to $12 billion settlement. The plan? Restructure as a public trust. Sacklers give up ownership and pay $3 billion, plus sell off international arms like Mundipharma. But states smelled blood. They wanted the family's full $13 billion fortune and no immunity from future suits. The DOJ jumped in 2020, hitting Purdue with an $8.3 billion deal, including guilty pleas to kickbacks and fraud. Sacklers chipped in $225 million civilly, but still no criminal charges. The saga dragged on. In 2021, a bankruptcy judge approved a $4.5 billion plan shielding Sacklers from civil liability. Outrageous, right? But a federal judge overturned it, saying bankruptcy law doesn't allow shielding non-debtors. Appeals flew. Second Circuit upheld in 2023, Supreme Court paused. Then in June 2024, ruled 5-4 against the releases in Harrington versus Purdue Pharma. Game changer. The family couldn't hide behind bankruptcy. Fast forward to 2025, and here's the latest twist. After the Supreme Court smackdown, Purdue refiled a new plan in March. By June, all 50 states, DC, and territories agreed to a $7.4 billion settlement. Sacklers pays $6.5 billion over 15 years. Purdue adds $900 million, and the company becomes a public benefit entity focused on addiction treatment. No more immunity shields, but critics say it's still a sweetheart deal. The family keeps billions in wealth built on blood money. North Carolina alone gets $150 million for recovery programs. But is it enough? Protests raged on. Artist Nan Golden and her group PAIN shamed institutions into dropping the Sackler name. Louvre, Tate, Met all scrubbed it by 2019. The family, labeled the most evil in America by some. McKinsey settled for $573 million in 2021 for their role. So, what can we learn from this corporate nightmare? Purdue's story is a masterclass in greed over ethics. How aggressive marketing and regulatory loopholes turned pain relief into a plague. It exposed Big Pharma's dark side, sparking reforms like better FDA oversight and prescription monitoring. But with opioids still killing over 100,000 Americans yearly, the fight's far from over. If this blew your mind, drop a like, comment your thoughts. Did the Sacklers get off too easy? Share this video to spread awareness. Check out our playlist on more scandals like Enron or Theranos. Thanks for watching. Stay vigilant, and I'll see you next time. Peace out.